I'm jacked.
Looks as good as on paper. We're in the kill zone, pal. We're locked and loaded.
Hi there everyone, welcome back into another session as we review a slightly red market from the last 12-24 hours really. To be expected, I would say, after the nice push up we had from the range lows last week. Some coins are doing okay. Pepe and some of the main coins have had a little nice push up. BNB, very interesting chart. I do want to review that in a second. In trading view and the levels that it's been hitting. Okay, couple of things to think about in the coming 7 to 10 days. Possible Hong Kong ETF flows. Okay, so we know they've been approved. Potential flows coming through from Hong Kong. Does that open up some floodgates to further potential market derivatives that the Asian guys can play over there? I would say possibly so, yes. Little comparison. Just for reference speak, I can drop a link for this article from Fortune Crypto in below the video, but inflows, I think this is kind of maybe obvious to everyone, but I don't think the flows are going to be anything what like the US guys are doing. I mean, the whole Hong Kong ETF market, that's everything all encompassing, 50 billion, okay? US market, ETF market, 8.867 trillion, okay? So I'm not just talking about crypto, I'm talking about the whole encompassing ETF market. Predictions from some of your legacy market guys are saying that the Hong Kong ETFs are probably going to reflect a similar kind of percentage to what the US ETF, crypto ETFs are doing. So 0.5 to 1%. Still very good. Still very nice, I would say. But if you're going to be tracking flows, I don't think it's going to have a wider effect like the US flows have had. The only thing that I would consider really is that it does open up. I was thinking this last week anyway. You know, it's going to open up other jurisdictions to follow, basically. Do we have more derivatives tools? Maybe, you know, the best option would be for some spot driven tools, really, wouldn't it, to be, play that market? But that could be very, very nice. I think certainly something to keep an eye on. It's certainly going to bring some hype in the next 7 to 10 days. I think I saw an article saying that their ETFs could be live from the 30th, okay, 30th of April, so just something to keep an eye on. With that being said, let's go and I'll have a look at some Bitcoin levels, as yes, we do pull back a slight bit here, okay. So what I want to do is just have as usual, quick review of where we've come from, okay. Range lows, was shilling this all last week. Range lows, we actually got a triple diamond down here. This was the area we were looking at. We got almost, I was calling it almost like a 3 drive on the 15-minute and the 1 hour time frame, but there was really nothing to see there. As we came down again, the bid depth down there in that 59.8 to 60k level was absolutely massive, okay? We still had bullish divergences, we still had massive bid, we still had nuked open interest, and, you know, for the last 5 days now, I would say, negative funding, flirting with some negative funding, so really, really nice. That's where we come from. Let's have a look at what we can possibly achieve in the next 12-24 hours and beyond. Flicking to a weekly chart, okay, I've always said this in the last few weeks to a month actually, you need to get these higher time frame levels played out. They can change. How relevant are these kind of areas now? Maybe not so much, but get them marked up and we can see where we've been coming down to, okay. So nice pullbacks, wicking to grab some liquidity under 60k, okay, so just 59.8ish, yeah, 59.8. Mentioned that in one of the tweets. Quick tick under the 60k to grab some liquidity, and we might be able to do some Bitcoin business. Okay, daily charts. We've just absolutely hammered this order block here as we enter into the halving. Okay, from the end of last week. So yeah, nice and orderly. What can we expect now? I mentioned to the guys in some of the socials that I think this is going to be a tough area now. You can just see this point of control here at 67k. This is an obvious area you need to flip, but I don't think it's going to be a straight blast through. You could be in for a little bit of boring price action, okay, in the next few days, maybe even a little bit longer, but it's kind of one of those situations. If you've got a bit of long risk from down here, you just need to hold tight, you know, and manage that risk. I think it's pretty easily managed from here. Okay, so that's a daily chart. 4-hour chart, we can just see our range here. Just wicking onto this fixed range POC, but our previous month POC is actually up here at 68k. But you know, fib drawn, levels drawn, weekly lows there, weekly open, sorry, previous weekly lows down here. BTC TRDR diamond down there, okay, that's where we wick to. Nice push up, risk easily managed there. Float your stops up if you're that way inclined, and we can just see now on the 4-hour we're just trying to turn. You're kind of just stuck in this churn point here, okay, so you're stuck in this POC. Obvious resistance, just look left and you can see that 4-hour EMA there. So again, you know, all the way up to, I mentioned this last week, 60, 65, 66 level, not going to be easy. We've just wicked onto this 67 level here on the 4-hour. Not going to be easy. You need to kind of auction price in here. And, you know, it sounds pretty obvious, but who wants it more? You maybe need to drive a little bit lower, find some bid, find some offer, find some bid, find some offer. Who's going to win the auction battle, okay? Flicking to a 1-hour. Really nice. So we obviously got the BTC diamond there in our initial push to 60k. Came down with some nice volatility and just wicked that 1-hour order block again. Pushed up, higher lows now on the 1-hour, and we're just trying to turn this area into a little bit of a trend, I would say. Remains to be seen what we can do there, but yeah, weekly up and down here with this 1-hour order block. 1-hour EMAs there at 65, so don't be shocked if we do come down there, okay, and just tap some bid down there. That'd be quite nice to see. And yeah, previous month POC just floating up here at 68 with a larger 1-hour order block just floating under 68k as well. So, you know, this area is not going to be easy. Do we need to come down, find some more bid, and, you know, smash this area a couple of times, smash this resistance a couple of times before we float up? That'd be really nice, okay? Couple of alts I just want to go and have a look at. BNB is one of interest, because I was looking at BNB, I was thinking, okay, where has this come from? I've had this trend line for a while. I was like, what is that trend line that I've got of note there? And I don't trade BNB at all, to be honest, but it's a little bit of a barometer on the market, or it can be, can't it? Okay, so zooming out to 4 hours, like, what is this trend line here? Anyway, daily chart, look at this daily chart here. Let me just zoom out. Okay, I don't know why I had this kind of meme triangle formed here. It didn't really achieve anything, to be honest, but it's kind of faked out. Anyway, trend line from the top of these previous all-time highs back in 21 and 22. We've almost just come back and back tested them. Really nice technical back test. I'm sure some of you guys were watching this and, you know, and caught a little bit of risk there. But anyway, just thought it was interesting now to see that BNB's getting a really solid push up, back testing that trend line and then carrying on. Couple of order blocks there on the daily chart. Do you form a range in here before some continuation? That could be quite good, okay? Obviously, from the other week, a lot of charts, especially on altcoins, got absolutely hammered. On the daily, they're still looking pretty good. The only thing I would say is on 4-hour charts and stuff, they've got a lot of work to do, and I'm kind of eyeballing the higher time frame charts here, okay? Stuff like Polkadot. And there's other charts out there that look similar to this as well, where they've kind of been trending really nice, obviously from previous lows. But then they've broke down this trend. Now, the only thing to watch out for here is, do you get a classic back test here? Watch your order flow if you're going to aim for that. And then get rotations down for a boring summer. Accumulate and then run again, okay? Selling may walk away. I don't always believe in those narratives, but maybe that's the sort of thing you're going to get, okay? The only thing I would look for here is if it does push up, you really kind of need some confirmation to get back on trend, okay? Find some bid there and then get continuation. So these are going to be your kind of battle points, really, you know, for DOT, and you can just draw these out on other altcoins as well, but for DOT, instantly that kind of $8 round number level is one to watch. Link is very similar, I believe, as well. Absolutely hammered down. The only interesting thing about Link is it's kind of trying to hold a range here. So Link obviously broke out from its long-term downtrend there, and it just looks like it's trying to form some sort of range here. Yes, it's been hammered right back down to these $12, $13 lows. but that is your value area low, okay, on Link at the minute. I would say any bids down there should try and at least get defended. Maybe you kind of get some kind of bullish pattern down here, you know, maybe you get some kind of pennant triangle down here, $12, and then go again. Something, you know, just something to keep an eye on Link, okay. Sol, I believe, is still looking good. I do have to say, got a lot of lines going on here, but it's still got this kind of Livermore funnel going on. I'm going to get rid of that, despite the fact that yeah, so bouncing from the trend line that we were looking for on the live and in some of the videos the other week, dipped a little bit low with obviously the volatility. We were kind of aiming for 135, wicked a lot lower. If anyone was cheeky enough to grab bid down there, it's very good, obviously. And yeah, we've just come up and just starting to hit some, you know, trending levels there at the 130. So that's, you know, that's your obviously level. Bouncing back up, altcoins do like to come back and test higher time frame 0.5 fibs. So that's one to keep an eye on. Obvious level 160. And again, just on that 4-hour EMA, it's just capping a little bit of resistance. Something to keep an eye on. If Sol does hit a bit of boringness, again, back to trend maybe, float it up and go. Or maybe it just goes from here. But you certainly need to start flipping some of these obvious levels now. That 160s level, I would say, is the one to turn, and that could be good. But overall, you know, if you just compare this kind of structure to what we saw on Dot and Link, Sol looks absolutely brilliant. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's go into the TRDR console and check some order flow on Bitcoin and see what we can gain from checking some levels across exchanges with volume and open interest and the like, and see what we can achieve from price action in the coming days. Right then guys, straight into the order flow just on the main nice simple chart as we can see at the minute. Okay, so weekly open down here. You've got your previous month POC just hanging around up here. But when you're looking at the order flow, that is king. So let's have a look at what we're seeing now. So you've come from that really nice depth in the lows here. Sunday night, Asian Open got capped a little bit. Those orders got pulled as we just wicked up for a little bit of liquidity, and we're starting to move up now. One thing to note that I am starting to see, and I do go on about this a little bit, but in a trending market, it's what you need to look for. If we're going to get continuation in any way, shape or form, the bid needs to follow up, just like these USDT levels here. As we can see here, we're in supply, you know, slight supply zone from yesterday's high. Okay, so yesterday's high at 67k, you're in supply. Who was selling into that? It was actually perps were selling into this zone quite a lot. Okay, so this is Binance, but I know BitMEX were selling into this area quite a lot as well. Okay, slightly faded bid as well, something to note from the derivatives exchanges. But just going back to spot a little bit at the second, yeah, nothing to see here at the minute. We've come from demand, we've just not seen any follow through demand at the minute, hence why I believe we could just be in for a little bit of chop. Remains to be seen. Maybe you just get some bullish ETF flows and the market bid just comes in and pushes this one way or, you know, or the other. But at the minute, from central exchanges, really is nothing to see. Bitfinex, not a lot to see there. Bitstamp, not a lot to see. They've got offers higher. There's quite a few exchanges with offers higher, okay. Coinbase Pro, a bit of a dynamic market. Someone coming in for a little bit of bid there, but not getting filled. And these guys have got offers higher as well, okay. I'm kind of not expecting to just float up and hit this 68, 69k zone straight away. I think there's going to be some resistance in between here. But again, remains to be seen. Do you just get a market push one way or the other? Okay. Kraken, not a lot to see there. They've got levels higher. Nice to see that they are pushing up these resting limit orders. Okay. Qcoin generally really nice charts. These guys just don't seem to be in the market at the minute, you know, especially over the you know, I would say the last 48 hours anyway. So not a lot from Qcoin. Keep an eye on those guys though if they do start to push in on the market. Okay, so yeah, derivatives, not much edge at the minute, but they were selling into that zone. All right, let's have a quick look at volume then. So we know where we've come from. We had bullish divergences in the lows here. Okay, just pushing up now. I would say there's no real edge from volume at the minute. It's just kind of lackluster really. What I mean by that is there's no particular push, but there's no particular bear divergences at the minute as well. As I said, if you're long from down here and you've got a bit of risk on, really easy to manage. Unfortunately, if you're trying to trade in here, guys, you're going to get a little bit chopped up. And I did mention that in the socials last week, in the Telegram and Discord TRDR socials. This is going to be a chop zone. It's not going to be easy. You really need to pick your battles in this area, I would say, and look for some alts that might give you a little bit more edge if Bitcoin's just going to settle here. Yeah, but no real edge at all. And you can just see here in the volume as well, okay? No real edge at all. No particular bearish divergences, because really you want a high on price action while this volume nukes. Lower time frame, granted, open interest up a little bit as contracts are vying for a bit of position, but funding, despite it rising a little bit here, funding has been very neutral. Okay, so no particular edge there. Let's just have a quick look at liquidity, what liquidity is doing. Yeah, diddle in the middle, to be honest, absolute diddle in the middle. Nothing to see there, sir. Okay, one thing I want to highlight, if you've been following some of the charts I have been posting on Twitter, okay, which is these charts with this kind of thing going on at the bottom. I used to call this chart a daily ratio, where I'm kind of looking for overall aggregated depth, open interest, long shorts, and the funding. I've just tweaked this chart a little bit, okay. Now you will need the pro level. You can simplify this, but at the minute it's a little bit of a pro template, because what we've got going on is various order book levels here, various volume, and then just the general funding rate and your open interest at the bottom here. Okay, I do like this chart for a little bit of higher time frame sentiment. I always have. It's kind of a case of look at your higher time frame sentiment, okay, then drop down into your OBD and your overlays with top levels, resting limit orders for your edge on trade entry. Okay, but yeah, nice chart to have this. I'll drop the link below for this one as well. Let me just flip to a clean one. Okay, so obviously just got the overlays on there, but if I just turn those off, what you can see is, did tweet about this one, if anyone's got that as well, the link was in there. But general depth here, okay, so aggregated, but what I've done is I've basically just popped in some of the biggest exchanges. So orange is Binance, I've got blue Coinbase Pro, green is Bitfinex, and then I've got Qcoin in here as well, spot and perpetuals. Okay, so what we're obviously looking for is general depth of book with low open interest, low open interest, so everyone nuked out the books, with some negative funding is the cherry on the cake. Okay, on the 4 hour and 1 hour as well. And what we can see here is, it's kind of thing what you get going back to obviously just a pretty obvious area, obviously, but obviously 38k, massive depth of book, everyone's bid, funding rate pretty neutral, open interest absolutely nuked. Zoom into a 5-15 minute, execute some risk. Okay, you maybe want to go in these sort of areas. Obviously we're in a trending market by that time, but you obviously get into some of these areas, open interest really high, funding on the rise, you just chop for a little bit. Okay, wait for some bid, or just manage your trade, pull up your risk a little bit further. That zone there, I think that was 60k zone, really nice, massive depth of book again from all exchanges. Open interest absolutely dropped down here, and the funding rate pretty chilled as well. And obviously on the risk side as well, just looking up there, 73.7, no demand in the books, everyone's pretty much flicked to supply as funding rates are going well over 0.07. okay, you see the little red line here, so really risk off, and open interest is very high. Similar zones here, okay, obviously just on a 4 hour here, but back on the 1st of April, just as we tickled that 71 to 72k zone, everyone's in supply, funding rates just tickling really high, open interest high. Okay, so not trade entry stuff, but just a little bit of risk on, risk off sentiment. Okay, come down, massive bid again from the main exchanges, flirting with some negative funding, open interest absolutely nuked. We want a little bit of risk on. Okay, so I was obviously mentioning that in the tweets last week and some of the YouTube shorts. Not done a YouTube short in a little bit since this zone, to be honest. I'll do the YouTube shorts when we hit a bit of volatility and some nice price action that I think needs that kind of quick update, But at the minute, you can see where we are. You know, you're just in this little resistance zone. Just look left if in doubt. Slight supply zone, no follow through bid, so we do need some follow through bid. Funding is nice, okay, open interest coming up a little bit. What I would say is, if you know, if your bigger players have got some risk on from here and you're seeing a funding profile like this, I certainly won't be closing too much, you know. They're going to be quite chilled in their positions, all right? So I'll drop a link for this below. If you're new to the TRDR console, there's a link below already, so grab yourself a free trial there. We'll be running a live session on YouTube this week, just not sure when we're going to do that yet. Reason being, if the price action stays really boring like this, which it could be, if the price action stays boring here, there's not much point in doing a live. I'd rather do a live session with you guys when there's a bit of volatility, some nice trade setups, you know, and we can get a bit of action going. Same with the TRDR Discord as well. If anyone's familiar with that, jump in there, link below. What we'll do is a similar kind of situation on that as well. We'll do another TRDR Discord live screen share session again this week. I'll post a link for that one, just in case anyone's got any console questions or the like, or needs any help with any templates or anything. All right, guys. So have a great week. Don't get chopped up in this zone, all right? Pick your battles, all right? Use your edge in the TRDR console. Pick your battles in this area. That's all I would say. If you've got some risk on from the lows, maybe hedge a little bit of position if you can. If you see a nice potential 1-2% short you can get, but manage your risk from this zone. Very easily managed now. Tighten up your stops and the like. All right, guys. I hope everyone has an absolutely brilliant week, and I will post a link for the lives when we hit a little bit of volatility. Cheers, guys. Speak soon.
It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust.